In this video, I'm going to be showing you a couple of really nice lighthouses in New London, Connecticut. And for your entertainment, I will be crashing into one of them. This is my new Air 2S drone. I've only had it for about 4 weeks at the time I filmed this. Right here, what you got is a perfect rotation of the New London Ledge Lighthouse, which is about a mile from shore and about a mile from where I'm sitting. Most of this is being done by the drone. Some of it is done in post-production. I made it even more steady in post-production. This is what the drone would normally do. Notice that it's trying to rotate around a point, but it's drifting a little bit. And in the previous video, I straightened it up. You can really poke into people's business with a drone, and I would only do it if there are no actual people there. Pulling back from the drone, taking a couple of swipes at it. My drone is supposed to have collision avoidance, which you can see here. It is only so close that it gets to an object and then it stops. It either avoids the object or it just brakes. So I had some confidence that my drone was not going to run into anything. In fact, I had too much confidence, and which caused my aviation disaster. So here's one final pass of the Ledge Lighthouse, and then zipping over to where I actually am, really a mile away on the shore. So I understand this has something like a 7-mile range, and if you exceed the range of the drone, it will come back home. It knows it should be smart enough to come home on its own. So it should be a very forgiving drone, but only to a limit. So I've noticed another lighthouse-like structure behind me. This appears to be a private home. So we're going to zip out to take a look at it. So this home, totally isolated on an island, it raises a lot of questions, like what do you do for sanitation here? You can only arrive by boat, so you have to bring everything in with you. There's no place for a septic tank or anything like that. You probably have to haul out your waste as well. So at this point, I'm feeling pretty confident of my drone. This is my first major overwater expedition. And I cut that pretty close to the building because I knew there would be collision avoidance. So that was my first flight in New London. I swapped out the batteries now and took my fatal flight. So each battery will last about 30 minutes. Okay, this is my fateful flight. I noticed the ferry coming in. I figured I'd go out and take a look at it. This is the ferry from Long Island. I'm being daring by getting maybe a little bit too close to the ferry. And beyond the end of the ferry, you see the New London Harbor Light. Well, one of several lighthouses in New London Harbor. So I decide to head for the light. And I figure I can head almost straight for the light because there will be collision avoidance. But what I'm not counting on is the whiteness of the lighthouse. So at this point, I'm on the opposite side of the harbor. Okay, my drone has crashed on one side, and I have a 20-minute drive ahead of me to get to the other side. I think that my drone is probably safe. This is close to the last image I received, and so I know it didn't go into the water. I know it's probably retrievable, and if it's retrievable, then I can get a new one under my replacement plan. I had an aviation accident at this lighthouse. My drone crashed into the lighthouse. I actually think it's entirely possible. It's entirely possible it still works, but I don't know. Okay. Lighthouse. Be careful of lighthouses. Okay, all the blades are shot. It got really scratched up. The lens cover came off, but the camera looks kind of looks okay. We'll see. It's all scratched up, but it seems to be working okay. So now is the first test. Going back into the air, it seems to be working all right, but there's some all sorts of little problems emerging. You'll notice some shakiness here that didn't exist before. A nice rotation of the lighthouse after the crash. So I know my drone is damaged. I know I need to get a good one. You see that jump there? And I can get a new one because I got the replacement plan. For $169 above the drone price, I got a replacement plan where they will replace the drone. As long as I can retrieve the body, they will replace the drone for a relatively low price. First replacement is only $119. But I couldn't do it right away because I had a trip planned for Alaska. And I didn't want to give up my drone for 2 weeks to get it replaced. So I kept using this damaged drone on my trip to Alaska. And for the most part, it worked. But there were enough glitches that I wanted to trade it in for a new one.